Welcome back to the Burn Boot Camp podcast. I'm excited that you guys are here, and I am joined by two incredible ladies, DJ Splain, our brand manager of Kline Brands, and Ansley Melnik, Burn Boot Camp Copywriter. Woo! She's also the host of your Thursday episode, so if you've been listening to the Burn Boot Camp podcast, you will recognize Ansley's voice, and if you're watching, you will recognize her. So thank you guys for being on the podcast today.
I'm so excited.
So we're excited. We are starting a little new series here because we're going to be talking about the Burn book, guys. So this is exciting news. Devan and I are the co-authors of Burn, the Burn Boot Camp 5-step strategy for inner and outer health. So we're going to be talking and breaking down each chapter. We're doing a little book club here, the three of us, and we're going to break it down for you. So you guys can tuck this podcast away for when these books get into your hands, which they're in pre-order right now. So we're going to link that in the show notes. So you can tuck it away and save it, or you can read it now so you can get a little taste of what you can expect for the book. Yep. So, does that sound good?
Yeah.
Okay.
Great.
So the first one we're going to dive into is chapter 1. And that is our first strategy, and it's called Burn, okay? So in all of our different strategies, you're going to hear from actual real stories of Burn Boot Camp members. And the great thing is both DJ, Ansley, and I are all Burn members as well. So what we want to do is just kind of recap the chapter and then also share a little bit about how it invoked some emotion in us or some feelings in us, or maybe it motivated us a little bit to get back on the wagon. So we're going to start with chapter 1. So strategy number 1 is burn, and that is really just that. It's the movement of burn. It's the things that we do inside the gym that obviously motivates us outside of the gym. And so before we talk about, one of the members that are in here, Karen, I wanted to talk a little bit about this study. I don't know if you guys remember reading it, but we included this study into the book, and it was the British Journal of Sports Medicine. So it covered 97 different analysis over 1,000 trials, including 128 different participants, making it a pretty comprehensive review, as it states here. So the overall conclusion was that physical activity significantly improves symptoms of depression, anxiety, and distress. And even more impressive was that physical activity is 1.5 times more effective than counseling or taking antidepressants. So, obviously I'm not against antidepressants or therapy. Yeah. I think that there's a time and a place for all of them, but I think what is more eye-opening here is the impact that movement and, not being sedentary can have on some of those different things that you may be struggling with mentally. Yeah. So, what did you think about that study? And have you had your own experience?
Yeah, no, I mean, I've been here it'll be 8 years this year, which is crazy. And so obviously I'm drinking the Kool-Aid. I understand it. I love it. But this past year has been really hard for me personally. So even rereading that again, I was like, man, just because I've been here so long does not mean that I'm not subjected to the struggles that happen. We're renovating a house. It's Christmas. It's you're going through the 6 seasons. And so I haven't been as active as I normally am. And I can feel it because there are days where I'm like, man, I'm not happy. You just kind of feel meh. Yeah. Not to the point where I need to go and see somebody, but I'm I just need to get back into my routine again. Yeah. And I haven't because I've been sick or things are going on and I'm busy. And then I'm I'm tired. I really don't want to do it. And so just reading that again and seeing that, I'm no, I just need to just stop it. Just even go and just move my body. If I'm not working out as hard as I have previously, that's okay. Yeah. It's going to happen. It's going to come in cycles. And so that just solidified that for me. Mm-hmm. And it felt really good to know that I'm not alone, but obviously it happens. It's okay. Yeah. I'll go back. I'll get upstairs. I'll get to moving again. And I know that I'll feel so much better after I start doing it.
Yeah, 100%. I just think it's so, it's such an underestimated tool in your toolbox to keep yourself in a positive mindset. To keep keep those good hormones
happy endorphins, endorphins running.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's so critical. And I think that a lot of people, if they haven't come to a burn, if they haven't ever walked into a gym, I think that there's this weird thing where it's associated with pain and displeasure and struggle, when really coming off the floating floor, you have a high. Mm-hmm. It is an incredible feeling of accomplishment and happiness. And like you said, endorphins. I think that people don't focus on that enough.
Yeah. That feeling. Yeah. Yeah, and that was actually Karen's story. So Karen, she was a member at our Monona, Wisconsin location, and she said that, you know, she was intimidated. She peered into the exercise room, and it looked like they were having fun, but still, it is intimidating. And so, you know, if you're listening to this, like, obviously we're advocates of Burn Boot Camp because we're sitting, you know, at the headquarters, but we are truly a place for all people to come.
Absolutely.
And just like DJ said, just moving your body is better than doing nothing.
Yeah.
And then you know, you kind of crave it and it becomes fun and it's like, oh, okay. And then you meet these people and it ebb and flows, right? There's times that life gets crazy and it's going to ebb and flow. And so even, you know, going on a walk during your break, your lunch break, if you can't actually get to Burn Boot Camp, that still applies to this strategy of burn and movement, you know? And so the other thing that, you know, this strategy burn we talk about here is it boosts your mood. Obviously, we talked about that, but it also breaks bad habits. So, you know, there's another story in here about Hope. And
that was a tough story.
Yes, it was a tough story. So she battled a 20-year addiction to smoking cigarettes and taking Adderall. And, you know, she said she had this one moment where she was at a stoplight getting ready to go get another pack of cigarettes. And she turned to the left and she saw this beautiful sign.
Blue.
Or a beautiful blue sign that gives me the chills.
Yeah.
And so obviously, you know, she started her journey and shortly after that, she gave up that addiction, right? And so I've never had an addiction to, you know, cigarettes or substance and stuff, but I've certainly had bad habits, you know, and I've had something, Diet Coke, it still creeps into my life sometimes, and I love to get a little Diet Coke, but that's like one of those habits that, you know, you can get into the groove of something, and sometimes it does take my rededication to movement and rededication to like healthy eating to be like, why am I drinking this right now?
Yeah.
Or my sugary coffees, you know, maybe it's not Diet Coke, but whatever that is for you. So have you guys ever had any bad habits that movement has helped you kind of get rid of?
How much time do we have?
I know.
That's right. We
How
all
long that
have
story
them.
going to be? No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. No, I absolutely 100% have been so blessed to have replaced some things in my life with a healthy addiction, which is movement and really challenging workouts and replacing things that make you kind of feel like you question your self-worth a little bit, like you're hard on yourself about, with a good sweat and you know, that those great feelings and that feeling of being accomplished. I think it's those things can be replaced with movement.
Yeah. And it's hard to fall like back into bad habits, even though like I wouldn't say that I have obviously like an addiction that goes that deep, but it's, you know, even like eating the bad food, it's like this, it's a cycle. I know this. I'm very aware of it, but like then when you're not going to the gym, you don't feel good. And then I'm just like, man, I just want to eat this thing. Like it's just gonna be quick and easy. And then it just continues to where I'm like, I don't want that anymore. And then I'm just continuing to crave the poor foods, but then that again doesn't help, especially in the wintertime. Like, man,
Comfort food.
it's I'm just like, I just want to eat this and like feel good and then go about my day, but then it makes me more tired, more just like unhappy. My hormones are now out of whack, and it's just and no movement.
It's crazy how like no movement also like then you stop thinking about your nutrition as much. At least for me. So like
it's a slippery slope.
You
It is.
think like, oh, if I'm not going to work out today, at least I'll eat right. But for me, I'm like, it truly is like that anchor and that gateway for me when I move my body, whether it's a walk or a 45-minute or a 20-minute quick camp on the app. It does inspire me to be like, okay, now I feel good. I want to keep feeling this good.
It's the small wins. It's the, you know, I hit camp. Now I'm going to get my protein in. Now I'm going to get my water in, and it's just it gets the ball rolling.
To fuel like the good habit, and then when you've already kind of been like, well, I didn't work out this week, like it's fine. I'll just have like this extra slice of pizza, which like
we'll start Monday.
Those things aren't bad, but it's just like okay, I need to get back to it.
So you said something that actually segues to the next part that I want to talk about. That the burn strategy is a confidence builder. So you said, you know, you were thinking, I can't remember the word you just used, Ansley, but confidence. That's truly what I hear the most when I'm out, in the field and at gyms. And, you know, we hear it every day. We're very thankful in our jobs that we get to hear that feedback of it's helped me build confidence. And whether that's confidence in your strength, confidence in your body, or just like confidence in yourself again to like be committed to something and pick up heavier weights. And then it gives you that confidence in other areas of your life. That I think for me, that's probably been the biggest thing that like movement's done for me over the last 10 years, like having 3 kids and like working out during pregnancy and then postpartum while I was feeding my child. And like, I was like really appreciative of my body being able to do that. And it gave me confidence that even though I may not have looked the way I wanted to look on the outside, it gave me confidence on the inside. A lot more than like if I would have been staying at home and not doing anything.
And I think it's interesting if you don't belong to, if you're not a member of Burn, it probably is kind of a hard to draw a line between a workout and confidence and how it affects your life. Like you were saying, that you know, one little ripple in the pond and it just literally spreads out to every aspect of your life. But once you start building strength, you start building that confidence, it does, you know, kind of move into every aspect of your life and you feel unstoppable. You feel like there's nothing that you can't do, whether it's a box jump or ask for a raise. You know, I mean, and while no, I'm just kidding. Confidence. No, but like this shirt, confidence takes reps. It does. It takes practice. It's a skill that you can develop and grow and learn every single day. And it happens on the floating floor without question.
And it's wild, like when you like make a PR and then you think like, wow, like I can't, like if you really truly sit there and think about it, you're like, I just did that. And then you're like on top of the world. There's nothing.
What can I do?
Exactly.
I lift 95 pounds.
That's right.
That's
but
right.
even like stepping into the gym, especially a Burn where there are other people around you, I feel like on my lowest days, like I'm just like, just let me get up there. I get up there and somebody goes, man, you look incredible. Like you look so strong. And then I'm like, oh, okay. Great. Like you just need to hear it from other people and you're going to hear from those other people up there because the community is insane.
And it does get rid of that adrenaline in your body and the cortisol and the stress hormones, and then you feel better and it's an incredible
your
chain
shoulders,
reaction.
like you just feel like you can kind of like, oh, okay, I can relax. I'm gonna go get my butt handed to me, but like I can just like exhale.
100%.
All right, so I'm going to wrap it up here and just at the end of each of our chapters, we kind of give you some action steps and some things that you can focus on as it relates to this strategy. So for Burn, it's be consistent, and consistency is going to look different for everybody. You know, you may work out 4 times a week, you may work out 6 times a week, and I may maybe do 2 to 3 and then get my walks in. You know, so consistency is going to look different from how many times are you attending camp or going to a workout. But remember, like movement is so much more than what you're doing in a 45-minute or a 50-minute window. You know, taking the stairs versus the elevator, you know, doing things in just your everyday life, parking at towards the end of the, lot so you can just have more movement. So how can you consistently think through, movement and what you do when you wake up each day? Number 2 is put yourself number 1. Ladies, how hard is this for some of us? We get it. We're all moms. We all get that notion of like, we got to take care of everybody else first. And we can't leave the house early because maybe your husband has to get ready for work or whatever the case may be to you. But time and time again, when you put yourself first, then you can take care of the people much better. So
it doesn't fail.
Drop that guilt and like truly know that it's okay to make yourself a priority. And we know that's hard. And that's why Burn has, we have our on-demand, we have our app, we have so many different resources to keep you moving, whether that's at home or in a gym.
The Child Watch is a game changer.
And Child Watch.
It's just a game changer. It's, I want my daughter to put herself first. So she has to see me modeling that behavior. And it has to start at a very young age. And it's so fun to see all the little people upstairs watching their moms. And it's just going to change. It's going to change the world.
Actions speak louder than words.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's right. I always like to say like values are caught, not taught.
Yes, I've heard you say that.
I've done that in a podcast and I heard it from a friend of mine and I was like,
yes.
Because it is like,
it resonates.
It's like walking the walk, or whatever the saying is. Okay, Next one, recognize what you can control and accept what you can't. So who's a control freak listening to this? You know,
Ding, ding,
and so sometimes we just, you know, life is life.
Yeah.
And, you know, things happen. Sometimes, you know, your kids get sick or you get sick or you have a setback or you have a bad season or something is happening in life. You know, we all go through those ups and downs. And so,
Sure.
you know, the way that you tackle it, the mindset that you have around that, and we're going to get much more into mindset in another podcast, but you know, it is waking up every day. I always say this to myself and say, what's in my control? What can I do? Because once I've exhausted all the things that are in my control, then it's up to the world to work out for me. So a lot of us don't like that feeling because it's out of control.
Yeah.
But, you know, you can only do so much in situations. And so that's a good reminder.
Yep.
Say yes to hard things. Deej, what's a hard thing you've said yes to recently?
Oh, well, I went out today for a walk. I haven't worked out in like 2 weeks. And I was like,
you've been sick.
yeah, I've been sick, like
the
family
crud.
travels, and it's
Yeah.
just been like one thing after another. And it's so crazy that like I work at Boot Camp and I work out consistently. So for that to be the hard thing that like I said yes to today, but it was putting myself first.
Yeah.
And it was doing the hard thing, which was just going out and going for a walk, which is crazy to say, but that's the truth.
Yeah.
And that's where I'm at right now. And I did. And I felt so good afterwards.
Yeah. Because
Yeah.
you could have easily just said, hey, I'll sit and work because I'm still not feeling great.
Like
And-
I'll eat my lunch and sit
Yeah.
down. I got things going on this afternoon. Like I'll just focus on that. But no, I was like, you know what? I'm doing it. And it was a beautiful day, and it was exactly what I needed.
Yep.
How about
Yep.
you?
I think one of the hardest things that I do every single day is try to build boundaries where I can protect my mental energy and my emotional energy and time for myself. It's a constant struggle. I am older and I'm still working on it. It's just going to be something that I work on for the rest of my life because I am one of those, like I have a black belt in people pleasing. So if you ask me, I'm going to say yes and then I'll figure it out.
Yeah.
So just building boundaries, carving out time to read, to move, you know, to be with my kids. It's you know, as a mom, it's a struggle.
Yep.
Yeah.
No, I like to say protect my peace.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
My peace is important too, and I gotta protect it, even if it doesn't look like me doing all the
100%.
things that everybody wants me to do.
Right.
If I
Right.
don't feel good about it,
Yeah.
I can't
And
commit
I love
to
that
it.
you guys both said that because that is a hard thing.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm the same way. I'm a people pleaser really when it comes down to it. Or I'm just like too much of a, I take your energy and I'm like, I feel guilty if I've like made you feel a certain way when really it wasn't my problem.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Right.
You know, but like I'll internalize it, and that is hard to set a boundary because you kind of feel like you have a chip on your shoulder now. You know, like It's
It is.
up in here.
Yeah,
Yes.
you can't
But
control
it's a dangerous place.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but like you both have said, like you got to set the boundary because otherwise you're not peaceful. And
Right.
most likely that other person you're thinking about has already moved.
Yeah,
on.
exactly. They
They're
have
not
no
thinking
idea.
about it.
Yeah.
So don't let it live rent free in your mind. So.
True. Very true.
All right, guys. So that concludes our first chapter, our first little session of our book club. So thank you for
Good
joining
stuff.
us. If you guys have not subscribed to the podcast yet, make sure you do that because then you will never miss an episode from any of our wonderful hosts. Make sure you share this with your friends. And again, pre-order that book. So go to the link in our show notes, get a copy of yours. It's coming out in June. We cannot wait. Thanks as always for listening. We're going to end like we always do. 2 claps on 2. 1, 2.